Hi, I'm Jeff Bellomo with Bellomo and Associates. Thank you for coming to this video to learn more about the upcoming workshop. You're probably asking yourself, why should I attend this workshop? I already had my documents done. Attorney Morrison did them, Attorney Bankenstein did them, and they are exactly what I want. Well, that's a great question, and I can tell you over the last couple years, there have been a few lessons that we have learned in working with the clients that we were able to purchase the practices of Attorney Morrison and Attorney Bankenstein, that we realize that I need to get back in front of everyone to discuss some of the things that have been coming up. First, let me talk a little bit about powers of attorney. The powers of attorney that you currently have in place need to be updated. First and foremost, banks have been telling us that they want to see these powers of attorney updated every year. And I have owned their practices 4 and 5 years respectively, so I know that most of them have not been updated. So we definitely need to get you in to look at those powers of attorney to update them. Second, digital assets have become very prevalent over the last couple years. Not really when Attorney Morrison and Attorney Bankenstein were drafting these powers of attorney. Most of the documents that we're looking at do not provide for digital asset planning to allow the agent to be able to get access to passwords, to be able to get access to online photo albums, and those types of things. So we need to update the power of attorney to provide the digital asset planning that has now become prevalent. The other thing that we're finding that's coming up quite a bit is their documents do not provide for asset protection planning. Again, Attorney Morrison and Attorney Bankenstein were two of the finest estate planning attorneys that I have ever had the pleasure of working with, and I respect them more than maybe anyone in the entire world. Our practices, however, are a little different. They were both very, very good at estate planning, and our practice is definitely more elder law focused. It's more asset protection focused. What happens if you end up in a long-term care situation and you don't have planning in your power of attorney to be able to protect assets for your family? Well, I can tell you what happens. You end up losing all of the assets that you worked your entire life to accumulate because you're spending $13,000, $14,000, $15,000 a month, and we aren't able to do anything because the powers of attorney do not authorize that planning. So we want to discuss all of this in the workshop about why the powers of attorney need to be updated. The other thing we're going to discuss in the workshop is wills. Why do the wills need to be updated? I don't want to change who it's going to. I don't want to change the basics. Well, what we're finding in a lot of the clients that we've been working with is the wills are certainly fundamentally sound, but what they don't provide for is, what if a family member becomes disabled after you've created this document that provided for outright distributions to a beneficiary? Well, the answer is they lose their benefits, and we have had that happen numerous times with some of the clients recently, and I realize those wills are providing for outright distributions and do not have what are called standby trusts in order to be able to have a fallback special needs trust embedded in it. We've also had children who've passed away and grandchildren are inheriting, and they're getting a lump sum of money at age 18 based upon the way the documents are drafted. We want to put a standby trust in there that allows that age to be higher, 25, 30. You don't want a grandchild or a great-grandchild losing everything because they're not capable yet of being able to manage the money. Also, after death, the wills do not provide for asset protection for the benefit of your kids, your children, your grandchildren, and any family members. We want to make sure that those assets go to people so that they're protected from their divorces, their nursing homes, their car accidents. We want only our children and beneficiaries to receive the money and nobody else, right? That's what we're striving for, and that's what we're finding that the planning that we currently have doesn't do. So we're going to gear this entire workshop. It is only for people who are clients of Attorney Morrison and Attorney Bankenstein. We will be offering this in York and Lancaster respectively, where each of their practices were located, and only your clients of those attorneys will be in the room. The other thing we're going to talk about is asset protection planning during life. Neither attorney did the asset protection side, so the assets are still in your name alone and can be taken by a long-term care facility, taken by creditors, taken by other outside influences. We have heard numerous clients come in when they're already in the nursing home saying to me, why don't I have this planning? Why isn't this already done? Well, the reason is because we didn't draft your original plan, and that isn't something that Attorney Morrison and Benkenstein did because they were estate planning attorneys, and that is a little different area than what we do. So we wanted to get back in front of the clients to tell them all of the changes that have been occurring, what we've been finding over the last few years, and how we can help you protect your family, not only during life, but after death, and also get the powers of attorney and the wills updated. Okay, Jeff, I went to a workshop years ago. I've already heard you. I've already talked to you, and I didn't want to make a change. I still don't want to make a change, and it's just too expensive. All right, look, the one thing that we learned when working with Attorney Morrison and Benkenstein's clients is that they were very wonderful humans and really did not charge much to provide the planning that they provided. So it was sticker shock for some people to come in to talk to us, who now we are doing the high-end estate planning, the asset protection planning. So what we have decided to do is a workshop exclusively for those clients who worked with those attorneys respectively, and to create a price point that is 58% less than what we were charging, less than what you were quoted a few years ago, and do it in a way that we can give a discount for those clients on top of that. So please come to the workshop. Nothing is going to be expected. There is no money, there is no cost, and we will educate you from beginning to end, tell you the cost, explain why your documents need to be updated, and really go into depth. And I'll answer any questions that you have free of charge with no expectation. We'll then discuss at the end what the cost would look like if you wanted to move forward and how we would take that step if you choose to. But I can't urge you enough to come and get educated. You want to make sure that your documents work when they need to. So it's one thing to have documents. It's another thing to make sure that they're going to work. And what we want to do is make sure that your documents work when they need to. And that's going to require an updating of those documents. I really look forward to seeing you at the upcoming workshop and answering your questions and explaining the new process that we have created for Attorney Morrison and Attorney Benkenstein's clients and the cost that it would be, again, exclusively for their clients. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at the workshop. And until then, we'll see you real soon.